now. Hey, Tom here, FlipAnythingUSA. So busy. I've got 4 houses wrapping up renovations on. All of them are right down to just needing cleaners to come in. 2 will be going on the market. 1 I'm selling to my second oldest daughter, which is nice. She's going to have a couple $100,000 equity day one. And the reason being is and I'm not losing a dime because I bought the property right, and I got to pass it to my, my kids for a really good deal. And that's one of the powers of real estate. So today, if you just got here, don't forget my book, Wake Up and Smell the Real Estate. I've got a lot of new people that have signed up for the mentorship, and I've got a webinar tonight. Don't forget that. I better post this up before I forget. I almost forgot today was Thursday. Anyhow, I have a webinar every Thursday, 7 p.m. Central. That's in about 2 hours from right now. And they should get into it. And I can even tell you right now, I'm so frustrated. I'm starting to sound like my dad, right? Or my grandpa, as far as young people. I started at 19 years old, and I was a millionaire in 8 years. And that's back in the 80s. And being a millionaire then is like making $3 million now in the same time. And, just the stupidity and the laziness and the, I'm just really disappointed. And it's not just exclusive to young people. There's people that are 30, 40 years old that they don't have a clue, and I feel bad. And, I try to define myself different from all the other gurus out there because most of them are fake, full of shit, never done anything. And that's why I tell you, if you get into one of my webinars, you're never going to see anything like it. I show how I made my first $1 million, show you the actual properties, and show you how I've gone on to make tens of millions since, and I show you those properties as well. And, some things I've made $1 million on, others I've made $10,000 on. There's just so many clueless young people following other people that are clueless, that are, actually pretending to know what they're doing. And, it's just a stupid game, and I feel bad for the people that buy it. But anyways, let's look at Richard Fain. And I'm not saying Richard Fain's a fake guru. I don't really know much about Richard Fain. But the title of this, Why Renting a Home Will Make You Rich and Buying a Home Will Make You Poor. Well, already I disagree with the headline, okay? I just don't, the premise is silly to me. Now, maybe he's going somewhere with that, needs further investigation, I guess. But, and I don't know much about Richard Fain. Generally when I see him talking, he's, you get a Webull account and this and that. I'm sure he's got some knowledge and he's been around a while. But I don't think he has my knowledge when it comes to real estate. And so when I see people making blanket statements on real estate, this sounds like a Grant Cardone statement, and Grant Cardone doesn't know shit about real estate investing. He really doesn't. And no offense to Richard here, but that's what Grant Cardone would say. Sell your house. It's prime time to, the market's taking off like crazy, and sell your house before you have a bunch of equity. Really, really stupid stuff coming out of Grant Cardone, and that's gone on for years. And so, anyways, like I say, I just the people that buy into the fake guru shit is very disappointing, and then they're the ones that get burned the most. And I have actually someone just signed up today, or is going to sign up another one. A couple people pretty sharp, and he said, he goes, it's so easy to be misled if you don't, like, if real estate isn't your game, and he's a software guy, and he was saying, if you don't know, if that's not your game, he said, it's so easy to be bullshitted, and that's the truth. And so that's why when I listen to somebody talk about real estate, I very quickly know if they know what they're doing or not, or if they're a poser, just a pretend to be. And I see a lot of that. Yeah, cut him, Road. He pushes the hell out of Webull. I know that. I saw that, actually. So I haven't watched this, but I'm going to fire this up. And those of you that just got here, please hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. I've been in real estate for 42 years, and I don't mean as an agent. I've been an investor since I was 19 years old. And test me all you want. You got any questions? No, there's nothing I'm afraid of. I've been around doing this stuff for a very long time. So look, we'll start this up, and maybe does he talk slow? I'm going to go ahead and speed this up a little bit, just because I'm getting tired, a little impatient. It's an 11-minute video. We'll see how far we get into it. I'll probably fast forward through any of the stuff that I find commercially or not pertinent to the subject, and you guys let me know if you can hear it well. I hope you do. If there's any audio issues, let me know right away. Cut them, please. Or maybe somebody else listening. Here we go.
Welcome back to another video. If you're stopping by the channel for the first time, please consider subscribing to my channel. And while you're at it, smash that like button for me. I really would appreciate it.
Do that for me.
Notification bell so that you're notified every time I upload a new video. Be careful down in the comment section of the videos. A lot of spam, a lot of scammers. I will never ask you to contact me by WhatsApp or Telegram. I also do not invest money for my subscribers, so please be careful. Don't get yourself scammed. If you want 3 free stocks, Webull is going to give you 3 free stocks when you open a new Webull brokerage account. Put any amount of money in that brokerage account. They're going to give you 3 free stocks. For
here's the Webull stuff. I'm going to push past that a little bit.
I'm going to also send you a Webull tutorial video.
Oh.
And I'm going to go ahead and send you that tutorial video.
Oh. This is a Webull commercial.
But if you're someone who's looking to build wealth, then please pay attention to this financial case I'm getting ready to make. Why you should rent instead of buy.
Okay, so here's where we start. So in the comments here, somebody wrote, Richard Fain, he's an ex-athlete that went into banking after he got injured, and then he started buying houses. Years after he started banking, he buys a house, lives in it for 2 years, and then rents it out as he buys. No, it's not a bad plan. So look, it's a slow way to get wealthy in real estate, but that's kind of a, that's not an unusual way for people to progress, and it's not a bad way. Listen, if you got a decent job and you want to progress, that way you've got a good job, and he's comfortable. He's ex-athlete, presumably, he got paid some money. Son. So that's the number you need to get what you want. Like I say, I bash a lot of fake gurus, or I challenge people on their knowledge, and there's nothing personal with any of it. There's people that take advantage. Listen, the easiest people to take advantage of are people that, hey, will you grab me a water, son? The easiest people to take advantage are the people that are the brokest and the most desperate. And I won't have any part of that. And me saying that has nothing to do with Richard, by the way. Give me work. Thank you. So look, let's watch a little of this. But I can tell you right now, listen, I've gotten rich buying real estate. You don't get rich renting it. Although I did make over $1.5 million on a piece of property that I rented and I subletted to somebody else for 7 years. Made about $20,000 a month for 7 years. It's possible, but I don't think that's what he's talking about. And look, and so just before we get into this, I can tell you, I moved into the 5th house that I bought. Right. In other words, I went through 4 houses that I flipped. Never lived in them. The 5th one is the one that I moved into. And that was fine. And I actually, I lived in my building. I bought a commercial building, and I lived in the commercial building. Basically took an office and turned it into a bedroom. And I was fine. I was young and single. I could do that stuff. So anyways, let's start watching this, and then let's just see where it goes. He buys cars, exotic cars. Yeah, there's not a lot of money in cars and watches, but he's making good money doing what he's doing. As a I guess is a mentor to a degree of whatever he does. But let's just watch.
A new home. I'm going to use my home here in the state of Florida. One of my homes. My previous home that I lived in for 11 years before buying the dream home. Now I got this house up for $799,000. If someone said, hey, Richard, how much would you charge me to rent that place to me? Then I would charge them about $3,700 a month. If that person said,
okay,
hey, I'm going to buy that home from you.
No, that's already a terrible return. $3,700 a month. So what do we got? We got 36,000 plus another 84, so about 45,000 a year income. Renting his, what did he say, 700? I think he said $799,000 or $800,000 home. So you got an $800,000 home. I mean, that is pretty miserable return. So it already that's not a very good return. You know what I mean? There's no sense even holding. I got a buddy of mine that I almost begged him not to move out of the house he was in, because he gave up a house at 2.6% interest that was worth about $900,000. He only owes $300,000 on it, and then he, for emotional reasons, he and his new fiance or wife bought another place for like $850,000, and I helped him get $100,000 off that property, by the way. But the problem with that is that now for this dream home that he's buying, he's looking at an interest rate of about 7%, as opposed to the one that's 3 times the rate, basically 3 times what he had paying for, on $300,000. So now he's going to be paying basically. He's paying like 3 times as much on that mortgage. And he got a tenant to move into his place actually at $3,700 a month, and he just got burned. The guy was in there for 3 months, decided he lost his job, he had to move out of town, so he let him out, and he broke his lease for, there's a break the lease fee of 1.5 times rent, a month and a half's rent. So he let him out for that. But what he found out was when the guy moved out, the guy let a water leak go, without it paying attention to it. And it destroyed almost 1,700 square feet of flooring. And this is, solid wood or engineered flooring. So it's about a $21,000 to $25,000 problem. Anyways, it's unfeasible to have, those properties. When you get over $300,000, the economics just go right out the door. The properties just don't pencil anymore for single family residences. But let's keep watching.
But I can't pay you cash. I'm gonna have to go get a mortgage. They put their 20% down. They go get a 7+ 30-year fixed rate mortgage, and their monthly payment is gonna be about $5,500 a month. Now that does include principal and interest, taxes, and insurance. So they could rent the place for $37,000, or they could buy the place, go get a mortgage, and pay $5,500 a month. That's a difference.
Okay, now, what he's not talking about is depreciation. You get the benefit of depreciation when you own it, okay? So, again, this is like a retail buyer. This is like a retail buyer perspective. I am a bargain hunter. I'm somebody that I don't buy anything unless I'm buying it for, 35% less than it's worth. If it's worth $1 million, maybe I pay $700,000 or $650,000 for it. Certainly with a house, I would have to have at least a margin like that. I buy houses to flip, and I buy commercial, industrial buildings, office buildings, warehouses. Those are the things that I most like. In fact, I'm waiting to sign a contract on a warehouse tonight. And those are the assets I like to hold, because those are the ones that'll pencil out between, say, 7 to 12% interest and cap rate, a 7 to 12 cap rate makes a lot more sense. And hey, listen, by the way, I'm going to be having a webinar here at 7 p.m. tonight. That's in an hour and 45 minutes. I urge you to come in. If you've got $100,000 in the bank or $200,000 in the bank, and I don't want your cash, believe me, but if you're going to buy a property, if you're somebody that has that kind of money in the bank and you haven't bought a home yet, take my free webinar tonight. You'll have a whole different perspective. Listen, it's a no-brainer for somebody that if you have cash and you're going to buy a property, you want to get an education and guidance from somebody like me that can help you, that when you make a purchase, you buy something for $100,000, maybe $200,000 under market. It more than pays for the mentoring that you get from me. But the fact that you're in this position where you're going to buy a home, you want knowledge before you buy. Otherwise, you're probably going to be taken advantage of, and you're not going to do so well. So, and we can talk about any topic you want, anything, any question you want. Let's try to rush through this, Richard, Fain a little bit here, and then we'll move on to something else. But anybody want to go anywhere on the internet or talk about anything, we can go to Google Earth, LoopNet. I'll take you anywhere you want. Talk about anything you want.
$1,800 a month, guys. $21,600 a year. That's the case I'm trying to make. For a lot of Americans, it makes no sense. If they're trying to build wealth, if they're in the building stage of wealth, it makes no sense to buy right now.
I totally disagree.
It makes more sense to rent.
Let me explain. Let me explain. This is not a real estate investor. And somebody just wrote here that Richard primarily is just a big affiliate marketer. He pushes, and I know he pushes Weeble for a few minutes there. And that's fine, nothing against it. But he has very limited scope about real estate and investing. So I'm going to tell you how terribly wrong he is on this subject right now. Number one, look, I've got 3 properties right now that I'm renovating, actually 4 that I'm renovating right now. I bought one for $460,000 that's worth $1 million, okay? Even after I put $100,000 or $200,000 in it, it's going to be worth probably $1.3 million even, I mean, just where it's at. So if I took his advice, I wouldn't make $700 on that one. And this is all, these were all bought in the same year. I got another one I bought for $225 that I expect will sell for about $450,000, maybe $440,000. 2,400 square foot. I bought it for $225,000. I already put about $60,000 in it, but just say $80,000 with real estate fees. So I'm going to have $305,000 and something I can sell for $450,000, $440,000, $420,000, whatever. Bottom line is there's $100,000 there. So I got $100,000 there. I got conservatively $500,000 on the other one. And then on another one I just bought for $295,000 only a month ago. I expect to sell that in the low 4s. I got 30 in that, but let's just say conservatively there's another $60,000, $70,000. So there's 160 plus another $500,000. There's $660,000 just on 3 houses. Okay, I bought other stuff too, but just on those 3 houses, that's $660,000 that I will make in 1 year. I already have the equity, maybe more equity, but conservatively, I'll make $660,000, and it wouldn't happen if I was renting. Okay, and if you're talking about your home, like I said, I rented, and I was buying and selling properties because they weren't the kind of homes I would want to live in. But it doesn't mean I couldn't turn them. So, anyways, just keep that in mind. I'm a real estate investor. I'm saying he's not. He's more of a retail investor, and he's a retail buyer. Okay, I'm a bargain hunter, and bargain hunters, we make a lot of money. So let's keep watching.
I don't care where you live in the country, your rental rate is going to be lower than your mortgage rate, right? I've did a little studying.
Right now, that's mostly correct.
Did a little research, and it appears rent is going to be somewhere between $1,000 to $2,000 per month cheaper than actually buying a home. Yeah. So
yeah, but again, if you're a retail buyer, it's a mistake. It's a mistake to pay full retail. So listen, as a rule, if I was going to buy a property, I would never buy any property that wouldn't, at a minimum, wash, and that isn't even good enough. Anything I buy, it's going to make money. Now, the only reason, if I bought a property with today's rates, if I bought a property today and I could rent it and it would make money, if it's a house. So you got to understand, commercial, industrial, multifamily properties, the value of those is set by the cost of money and rents. Okay, in other words, the cost of money comes into play, and the rental income comes into play. Because you don't buy an investment property to lose money. Now, houses, different story. If you accumulate homes, that's a different game, and it's a great game, and I do a lot of it. I buy and sell a lot of houses, but I'm not buying them for the purposes of renting them. I'm buying them with the purposes of selling them for more than I paid for them. And see, that's the thing with houses are, they don't have to make sense, because the reasons people buy houses have nothing to do with economic sense. They're buying the home for the purposes of, this is near my kids, or this is near the school that they like, or this is where their friends are, or this is where my friends are. In other words, they're emotional purchases. People move near their mothers, or mothers move near their kids. just how it goes. So everything that has to do with economics goes out the window. It has nothing to do with that. That's the part about homes. Home is very personal. It's where you live. House is a house. Home is where you live. So if it's a home, then you're dealing with this emotional thing that it's a double-edged sword. If you're buying and you got to be there, for your kids, and you bite the bullet and you spend the money you got to live so that everybody's safe, so that everybody goes to the right schools, so that and all that sort of thing. Now, if you're buying a house that you're going to rent to somebody else, that's different. That's got a pencil. In other words, you don't want to buy a house that whatever. You want a certain amount of return on your down payment that you put down, plus you want to get a return on the borrowed money. If you borrowed 75% of it, you need to be getting a higher cap rate than the interest rate that you're paying. Otherwise, it doesn't really make sense unless you're buying it below a price. You could buy a property below market and it still won't pencil as a rental, but it'll still be a fantastic bargain because somebody will pay considerably more for it than you just paid because it's an emotional purchase. So DL wrote 19 years of pay down. Oh, that's on the 800. Okay, I had $100K last year. I got hurt and can't work. That savings is chopped 70%. I'm kind of screwed even though I have very good credit. All right, so when you say you had $100K, did you have $100K that you saved, or did you have $100K, from the result of buying and selling something? Where'd your $100,000 come from? It sounds like you can't work now and you're eating it up. And I had a similar thing. Let me tell you something. When I was probably 21, 22, I cut my thumb off. So you can see this thumb. See that thumb? See how it's shorter than the other? Okay, this one here, the blade cut it off here, and I lost basically a big fat blade width. Obviously, it grew back together, but it feels like a waterbed. It's kind of a squishy thumb. But I had to keep my thumb above my shoulder, above my heart, for like a month. And I go to the doctor, and then they'd start digging into this thing and start just taking, started chewing my thumb away. I thought they're going to chew it down to the nub. And but what ended up happening is, there was wood in there because I did it while I was cutting a piece of wood, and so it shoved a sliver down in here, like a big fat toothpick, in there, and they couldn't see it with the X-ray. The technology wasn't there to see it, and so I'd go in there and think of things, it's still not healing, and all of a sudden he'd pull something out of there, like what on earth? But I can relate to, I think I was getting $180 disability every 2 weeks or something, and it was tough. It was tough times, and. But let me just tell you, one of the things when you're in real estate as an investor, the thing that puts a smile on my face when I'm sick, I can be miserable, just miserable. But I'll manage to smile because in the moment while I'm sick, I actually make more money because I can't spend it. In other words, I'm sitting there sick. I'm too tired to get out there, but I'm making the same money I make while I'm awake. But the difference is I don't have the energy to get out there and spend it. And I remember, before I became as successful as I am, I remember watching this guy that won the lottery. He won the lottery, and he was talking about, he had X amount of money to spend, per week. So as long as I don't spend more than, whatever it was, I don't know, 30, 40,000 a week, he said, as long as I don't spend more than that, I'll never go broke because I have that much money coming in from the lottery, every month. And I remember thinking, wow, that's amazing. That's awesome. Well, now I make more than that myself doing nothing, collecting from my rental. So my rental pay me far more now than that guy won from the lottery. But he has something that is evaporating. His money that's going in is going to run out in 20 years because, it's a big check just coming in over 20 years. Where what I have is something that even while it's paying me, the value continues to go up, the rents continue to go up, the income continues to go up. So real estate is a beautiful thing. And you're not going to get there renting, Richard. Not going to happen, buddy. Okay, so Barry wrote, oh, it must have been terrible, Barry. What'd you write? You had to retract it, huh? Come on back here, Barry, go ahead and post that again. Anyhow, let's watch a little more when let Barry rewrite whatever he posted.
I would say if you're trying to build wealth, no matter what age you are, I would be renting right now and taking the difference from my rent payment versus my mortgage payment and investing that money in assets that create wealth.
Dude, nothing creates more wealth than real estate. And I compare my portfolio against Richard's any day on return on stocks versus, not, this is a friendly challenge, by the way, nothing against Richard, but this is the topic. So, yeah, but anyways, even my son, look, I got, my 20-year-old son that's, I have 4 kids. He's just now starting to invest in real estate with me. And, he's already done 2 killer deals with me that'll make more than, any job would pay him in a very, short time. Those are the kind of, I don't know when he says the investments that will give you a return, he's talking about stocks. Because stocks are volatile. I've never seen any stock keep up with the money that I make in real estate. Not even close. The advantage of real estate is you get the advantage of leveraging. You buy something with 20% down, the bank loans you the other 80%. You know what I mean? You can't, if you're buying a stock, it's all your money. You got to use your money and buy it. And you're only making money on your money, not the borrowed money. I make money on the borrowed money. So, okay, Barry, let's see. Tom actually lost his finger. Okay, this is what you redacted earlier. Tom actually lost his fingers, part of the initiation into the Yakuza. Yeah, no such thing. Somebody told me they didn't like my tactics, and they said hey, it's like Texas Mafia over there. But that was just a tough negotiation we had. Anyways, what else? Let's keep listening.
And generate passive income. Let's take that $1,800 a month, the difference between the $3,700 that I can get in rent on my previous home versus what someone would pay on a monthly mortgage payment, which is $5,500. Let's take that $1,800 and let's do some math. So if I go and look for a place to park that $21,600 that prospective renter or prospective homeowner would save if they rent it versus buying, let's put that in an S&P 500 ETF that pays, let's say, an 8% rate of return. And let's do that for the next 10 years.
Yeah.
How much money do you guys think that prospective?
Okay, listen, I think that's actually a very, very rosy scenario with a stock. Most people don't get 8%, okay? But let me just use that same 8% figure he's referring to get 8% on this $21,000. Well, let's say you took that $21,000 and you put it down and bought a piece of property that was cost $100,000. You put 20% down and you got a $100,000 piece of property. Well, and you've got it rented, and let's just say you're getting 8%. You're getting 8% on your $21,000 down. So you're already making just as much as what he just described, right? Because you're getting an 8 cap on your property, which is not unusual. You get more than that, a lot more than that if you do what I do. But let's just use the 8%. So right off the bat, by buying a rental property, you're already getting as good or better than what he just told you you'd get with the stock that he did. Okay, let's just say it's the same. Okay, but now we got another $80,000 of borrowed money. Okay, and now look, today let's just say there's some still out there for 5.5% or 6%. Let's just say 6%. So now you're making 2% on the $80,000, right? So you're going to make another 16. So in other words, the 2% that you're making on the 80,000, that is the equivalent within a few pennies. That is the equivalent that you're making on the 8% that you're making on your 20% down, right? The 21,000 he was describing, you're getting that. But now you're getting 8% on the borrowed money, and you're paying 6% for that. So you're getting 2% of 80%, which is like getting 8% on 20 grand. So you're making twice as much, okay? So just with that little basic little example I'm using, you would make twice as much with the same investment in real estate. But it gets better because the real estate is going up in value. And don't forget, you've got a tenant that is in there that is paying this for you, right? So it's sitting there working for you. And in 1 year, you're going to have, in 1 year, let me think about that. I guess in about 3 years, roughly, you'd have the same equivalent amount that you could replicate and do the same thing over again. Let's see. Yarrow wrote, he's doubling down on YouTube. At least that's where the most potential is for him right now. I'm not sure which time. Oh, Richard Fain. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm not getting lost in the conversation here. Richard Fain makes most of his income through YouTube. He recently made a video on the amount, I think around $750K a year. Investing in real estate wouldn't make sense for him right now. He's into, I don't know, Voo, Spy, whatever this is. They are like $500 a share for those, ETFs. Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, look, here's the problem with a job. I mean, we have to make it specifically about a job. But listen, stocks go up and down. You know, the closest thing in real estate to a stock is a lease. Is when you sit down with a tenant, or if you're the person making a lease, it's kind of like a stock. You're trying to lock in a rate of time that you're going to pay this figure, and the tenant that's renting from you, he wants to lock in that number because he thinks the rents are going to go up. And if rents go up, then he made a good decision, because it's like making money on your stock. He continues to pay a lower rate of rent when rents go up. On the flip side, for the landlord, we like a lease for the same reason. We're just betting that the lease rates are going to go down, and so we want to lock you in so that you don't go anywhere and take advantage of the lower rates that are coming. So we're both kind of playing the stock market with our leases. And it doesn't matter who's right or wrong. Listen, I'm somebody that, because I buy property so far under market when I purchase it, that when I resell it or when I rent it, I can afford to rent it for a little bit below market. And what that does is that gives the tenant, it keeps them renting from me. And if things do get tough and things get slashed, they're not tempted to move out when their lease does come up, because they already have a decent rate from me. And so that's kind of your hedge against people moving out, is being able to give them a rate that is comfortable. And so when things drop down to actually being as low as the rate you're charging, they don't really have anywhere to go. They're saying, well, you know what? I'm paying Tom, Tom's treating me pretty well. And even with things dropping, even if I moved, I really couldn't beat it, or I couldn't beat it by much. So that's a beautiful thing. But anyways, please keep commenting here. Let's just see if we can get through the rest of this and see what else he's got to say.
Homeowner would grow their net worth by if they just rented that place from me instead of buying it. $100,000? $200,000? Nah. How about $315,000 is what that $21,600 invested in an S&P 500 ETF that gets an annualized rate of return for the next 10 years. $315,000. Guys, I'm not sure how you argue with that financial case. Now, I know...
Well, I don't think there's anything historical to back that up, that he would get that return.
Some people might say, well, the house will be an asset. It's going to appreciate in value.
Yeah.
That's correct. But I doubt it will increase in value at 8% per year, like the S&P 500.
Yeah, so I would argue on that. Now, listen, property values went up far more than 8% a year. In the last 5 years, it was like a hockey stick. Things just went up so fast, so much. I mean, they probably went up 20% a year for the last 5 years. So now they've kind of leveled off. But on average, in my experience, real estate's always gone up between 5 and 8% a year. Even in bad times, it pretty much has gone up like that. Now there's exceptions everywhere. You get a big, oil prices, whatever, go down and they stop drilling and the community dries up, or a demented politician comes in and cancels, a big power, oil line that puts a bunch of people out, and they stop drilling in the country that you're sitting on tons of oil, things like that. That's the other thing that makes it very difficult for predicting the future, is that, when you have a government that does really stupid stuff, and makes decisions that make no financial sense, like, not allowing you to pull the oil out of your ground, and, pushing everybody into electric cars, and at the same time buying oil from countries that want to kill you. You know what I mean? There's stuff like that don't make sense. And guess what? We have very little control over it. And as we can see what's going on. We got a lot of issues. And like right now, jobs are going down. We're having, jobs are going down, and people are starting to get laid off. Businesses, things are contracting. And while they're contracting, we've got about 1 million new people coming in that are hungry from, 200 different countries, into ours, and they're all hungry. Most of them are illiterate. They can't speak the language, and they need financial help. And it's never been more expensive to help people. And so we got a lot of problems, and you're only hedged against a poorly run government, and we're in a poorly run government. Our government doesn't even qualify for the aid that they require other countries to hit. So, in other words, we give aid to other countries, and if they don't keep a certain balanced budget in certain areas, then they don't qualify for the aid. Well, we don't even qualify for the aid that we require other people that we give money to. So it's insane. So anyways, but the best thing you can do is just make money and complain about the taxes you pay. I'd rather make money and complain about the taxes I pay than have my hands out and saying, "Can I have some more?" I don't want that either. So hey, please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and anybody got any other questions? We can jump around real quick, but I'm going to be doing a live webinar. Don't miss it. And that's in an hour and a half. And, thing you'll see, everybody will tell you, anybody that's ever seen one of my webinars. And listen, I people that see me get in my mentorship, people that have been only watching me a week get in my mentorship, because they find it so refreshing and different than anything else they've ever seen. I'm not interested in your money just for the sake of taking your money. I actually earn my money because I do mentor, and I give you very, very powerful fundamentals that will help you make money. And real quick here, I'll show you. Let me take you over to the mentorship. You go into the mentorship here. I invite you to go to FlipAnythingUSA.com, and and just take a look, at these success stories. This gentleman just made $2 million on a single deal, and he's made several six-figure flips up to that point. And these are all houses, all buying the kinds of things that Richard just told you not to. But this gentleman's doing it with land right here. This guy here, fairly new. He's only been in the class less than a year, but in 7 months he'd already turned 2 deals, made $113,000. He just got his 3rd deal, making over $100,000. So he's almost into the $250,000, and he's only been in the mentorship a very short time, and he paid just a fraction of that for the knowledge. And he'd tell you when I interviewed him, he says, "I can't even believe I'm here, Tom." He goes, "I just can't even believe I'm here." Another guy here, 34 years old, realized over $1 million cash right here. Rich. He realized over $1 million cash, and now he's got 2 industrial buildings, 2 commercial buildings that bring in, he said, they bring in about $150,000 a year income to him now. So that's a big deal. Ken here's made $1.4 million, but when I interviewed him here, he'd made $600,000 to this point. He did 2 deals since then, made another $800,000. Tina here, land. Ron here, he's got almost $5 million in real estate last time I talked to him. debt of less than $1.5 million, so about $3.5 million equity. That's pretty good. I don't know anybody that has as good a testimonials as I do. And listen, if you're a parent, and listen, I'm looking for people that have money in the bank, people that are disciplined, that have saved, people that haven't bought a home that want to buy a home, or people that own a home that want to buy a rental. You're my group. That's what I'm surrounded by. I've got the most powerful mentorship there is, most powerful, smartest community of any out there. And I urge you, go to Pace Morby, go talk to the students, and it's mind-boggling. The things you hear, but it's not productive, and it's nonsensical, most of it. But this gentleman here, carpenter like me, over $560,000. This gentleman here made $1 million or a couple $1 million now. So actually, in this video right here, he's sitting in a beautiful building that he just bought. And so these are the kind of success stories that I'm looking for, and that's why I'm not looking to take advantage of people that are hungry and starving, and I'm not going to mislead anybody. You need to get some skills, learn how to make some money if you're young, start saving that money. And then, and that's what I'm looking for. People that have discipline and save money, that want to do the right thing with that money and see a path to retirement, see a path to putting your kids through college. I got involved with real estate so early at 19 years old, I didn't have to worry about any of that stuff. I never had to worry about it. I've been over leveraged here and there in the past. But I'll tell you what, when you're a millionaire at 27 in the 80s, you're feeling pretty comfortable. And I learned something. And people say, oh, you can't do that anymore. No, you don't know what you're talking about. It never changes. It doesn't change, and the inventory never runs out. All this inventory. In fact, those are properties that I own right there. And I own a lot more than that. You can look across the horizon. I own all those out there. These are all properties. And what I want everybody to take away with when you get my mentorship is look how close these things are. Everything's near each other, in the same damn town. People go out of state to make a fraction of what I make staying in town. And so, you want to be near your assets so you can watch them. It's just like a farmer. You want to keep an eye on your cattle, want to keep an eye on your crops. So anyways, but get in the mentorship, and I'm really just looking for people that tonight, I'm just going to say, if you're broke, and listen, if you want to come in and listen, sure. And I can't fault anybody. I started when I was broke and I was 19, but I'm looking for people that actually have money, that want to do the right thing with their money. I want to see people that have money, shown discipline, save money, decent jobs, have kids, whatever, business people, self-employed people. I'm looking for smart people. I want people that are smart and scrutinize me. Don't believe a thing I say, make me prove it, make me show you that I'm doing what I'm doing, that I do what I say, because that's what happens is, people that aren't so bright, they just listen to a good story, and then, people talk about how easy things are. But if you held them down and said, well, have you ever done it? They've never done it. They've never done it. They're selling you a theory. It's a theory to them because they've never done it. So anyways, hey, give me some direction. I'll kill it now, and see you guys in the mentorship. Again, hit that subscribe button, and just go to FlipAnythingUSA.com/webinar. Important thing I should have already pushed on. FlipAnythingUSA.com/webinar. Just go in there, fill out the little form. I'll show it to you real quick because this is important. You don't want to miss this. Right up here, it says webinar. Click right there, and that's all there is. Your name, email. I would urge you to put in your phone number. I'm not going to bug you by any means. I don't have salesmen, because a lot of people, if you do put your number in there, you will just be harassed. Won't happen with me. I don't have any salesmen. But what I will do is I'll text you the link to the webinar to get in, because this is going to start in about an hour and 15 minutes. So you get this filled out right away, and maybe 15 minutes before the webinar, you'll get the Zoom link, and you'll be in a Zoom, and we'll be looking face to face at each other. And in fact, I can tell you right now, if you can't turn on your camera, if you can't turn on your audio, I'm going to dump you. I'm going to kick you out, because I'm not looking for people to come in and just listen. I'm looking for people to look face to face that genuinely are interested. So Monica at Move wrote, Fain's perspective is not just retail. He is considering only the monthly cost. Yep. The dynamics of real estate investment completely escape him. You're absolutely right. I couldn't agree more. Like I said, he wasn't talking about depreciation and some of the other benefits that are there. But he doesn't know it. This is the thing. And he's not, and look, what he's doing isn't terrible. I'm just saying, he's given a strong perspective as he sees it, honestly. That's fine. And I will disagree with it, and I am now, and I'm explaining why. But what's terrible is when somebody tells you how to buy real estate that doesn't know how to buy real estate. And then even worse is if you have money and you believe that person, and then you take their advice, and then you buy something, and now you're upside down for 20 years. It's the worst you can imagine when you when you take advice from somebody that doesn't know what the hell they're doing. I have a thing, easy to do, hard to undo. I tell that to my students all the time. And by following somebody that gives you bad advice and then doing it, that's worse than the money you paid them for the course, because now you've doubled down or maybe 10 times down. You've got yourself into an investment that you can't undo, Say, yeah, buy it. That's a great deal. And then you buy it and it wasn't such a good deal. So G and RE. I used to watch Richard Fain when he first started out, and then I realized he offered zero valuable information. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to make that strong a statement, but I'm just saying what I know about real estate is in stocks is that they don't compare. Real estate is far superior in every way. I can prove that out by showing you a portfolio of success, making tens of millions of dollars, and also stuff that I buy, constantly. It doesn't end. But get in the webinar, and I will take you into the back end, into the members area, into the area. There's just so much information in here, and you can get into live meetings, you can get into the archives. There's just so much information in here. It's a beautiful thing, and I've only been doing this 3 years, and I have more success stories than anybody, and I mean truly success stories. I went into Pace Morby's site the other day because I thought, oh, look at these success stories. The success stories, there wasn't quantitative with even one profit. That wasn't quantified. It's like as if nobody made any money. In fact, most of them said they hadn't made any money, but they were excited because they thought they were going to. That's not a success story. That is a hopeful wish story. That's not success. Now, a couple of people said that one lady said that she bought a Airbnb with two strangers. It sounded like, yay, I guess. I don't want partners. I don't like partners, to be quite honest. But once in a while it makes sense. But you do it until you don't have to do it anymore, and then you go on your own and make all the money and keep all the profits. So, hey, go to FlipAnythingUSA.com/webinar. Hope to see you in there tonight. Only come in if you're serious. I just assume only people that have, 50 or to, $500,000, because you are people that 100% should be in this. You should be in this because you got the money. You can afford to take the mentorship. You'll have me. I've got your back. I'll talk to you. I'll help you. I can give you the guidance you need. And when you do make a decision, it'll, tenfold the cost of the course. In fact, I think my average student, meaning if you add up all the money that is made by my students and then divide it by the number of students, I think we're at about 50,000 ahead, which I don't think anybody can even come close to a claim like that. So, hey, Tyson, good to see you in here. So I'm going to wrap it up here. And let's see. Gene wrote, I can show you proof of my real estate investments, but people pushing stocks never ever show you proof of the stocks they purchase. You're right. In fact, most of them, you're right. That's a very good point. My sons actually made that observation. They said these guys that are teaching trading don't trade. The guys that are teaching people to trade don't trade. It's sad. But so, hey, looking forward to seeing you guys. Jump in and say hello, and I'll be starting that Zoom. I'll send you the Zoom link. Just go to FlipAnythingUSA.com. Fill out that, like I said, just go right here. Fill this out right here. And then the other thing you should do is you should buy my book as fast as you can because it's peanuts. It doesn't cost much. I make $7 on a book. It's nothing. But you can make $1 million with the information that's in that book. And then if you want to really take an extra step, and I advise you do also, is take the mentorship survey. I'll give you I'll talk to you on the phone. If you fill this mentorship survey out, I'll throw you a text. If you want to talk, great. If you don't, that's fine. But I will, listen to you. I'll hear you out, and I'll give you the best advice I can give you to do with what you got. And people have appreciated that a lot, and I have a very good perspective for that. So thanks for watching, everyone. And we'll catch you in the webinar. You want to learn how to make millions of dollars in real estate? I've made tens of millions over my lifetime, and I'm showing people how to do it. Get in my free webinar. I have it every Thursday, 7 p.m. Central. Go to the link below, FlipAnythingUSA.com/webinar. Sign up for it. You can talk to me face-to-face if you want. Don't waste any time. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button. You don't want to miss my channel. I've been doing it for years.